So now you have to ask this fundamental question: how has the world changed? It has always changed since the time of slaves through bottoms-up movements. Even anything we got, the fact that you have electricity there, the fact that you have any healthcare, came from people who fought on the ground in ways, heroes that you'll never even know their names. They're not in any fucking history books. So we have to start honoring that. And we have to change the discourse in a very fundamental way.
Take the first step towards online privacy. Get NordVPN. Take the first step towards online privacy. Get NordVPN.
Hi, Dr. Shiva. Thank you so much for making yourself available. And for those of you, because this is going out on some of your platforms, so I run the channels on ODYSEE and Rumble and YouTube and Twitter, Crypto Rich. I'll have the links in the description below. And for those watching on my channel, because we're recording this on Wednesday, the 4th of September, it'll go out over the weekend. I am interviewing Dr. Shiva Ayyadurai, who is one of the presidential candidates for the US election in 2024, independent candidate. And so we shall begin. So thank you. And I did say to you before we started recording, Dr. Shiva, that I listened to you a lot during those heady days, those halcyon days of lockdown, and your stand against the mRNA injections and your stand for people's health. So when I heard you were running, I was like, okay, I want to speak to you and find out what it is that you're standing for, because you, the way I see it, you don't stand a hope in hell's chance of winning, but it is a campaign that you're out to raise awareness without a particular
Well,
message.
we have to define what winning is. Okay?
Mhm.
If winning, we have to define what winning is. So let's start with the statement you said. You don't have a hell's chance of winning. Let's define what winning
It
is.
would be like getting nominated as the president of the United States.
Well, that's the definition. That's one definition of winning,
Okay.
which means you want all your people who nominate you to keep sucking Zionist cock. And I
Okay.
don't think that's winning. Okay?
Yep.
So we should really define what winning is.
Well, okay. Well, okay, that's good. Thank you. And how do you?
Yeah, because I think you shared that you came across me during COVID, right?
Mhm.
And a lot of people, if they had continued to, those people went against the advice that I gave. Those people followed booby fucking Kennedy or Trump, who were promoting lockdowns, lost. Some people thought they were winning by supporting these people. So we have to, winning, the words that we use and the context we put in, I think are extremely important.
Mhm.
Because those in power want to define winning on their terms and want to demoralize people into what I call learned helplessness.
Yep.
So this is a very, very important discussion on what is winning. I would argue that we have already won. And we are winning in a very profound way, because in 2020, 2021, about 500 million people came to know about my work. Before the censors came in, we saved probably 100 million people's lives just by the work I did, teaching people about vitamin D3, teaching people about boosting the immune system, not getting involved in the pro-vax, anti-vax dialectic,
Mhm.
going much deeper into the immune system. We won because we ran for office, and people like me are not supposed to run for office. We're supposed to invent email or be inventors and scientists and engineers. But because I ran, I was the one who exposed to the world that the voting machines in the United States have the ability to flip votes. We were the ones who exposed that the fact the signature verification process in the United States is flawed. We won a preliminary injunction in federal court where I represented myself. So I would say we won big. So we have to really define what winning is. So when we say winning a presidential election, well, everyone's losing. Everyone loses, which means the 0.001% participate in these winning of one idiot or another idiot. But the losers are the working people of the United States and the working people of London and the working people of the world.
Mhm.
Because they think this theater that they put on, participating in that theater without having a movement, is winning. So you see, to them, the losing is that someone who actually works hard, bottoms up, without all their billions, actually can fuck them up and expose them to people. That's winning. For us, it's losing for them. So you consider the fact in 2020 when I ran for Senate, they stole our election. We exposed all of it in bare view. And then when we were exposing it, Twitter threw me off. And it was the government who contacted Twitter to throw me off. And it was I, in our historic lawsuit in federal court to expose the fact starting in London. Katie Minshall, who was a former general counsel of Twitter, created the backdoor censorship portal into Twitter. That was my work, not Fucker Carlson's work, not anyone's, my work. And more importantly, we are educating people on a fundamental level. This is not about voting for these idiots. It's about a very different slogan. It's about you wanting to save yourself. That's our slogan. So if you want to vote for me, I'm going to teach you how to save yourself.
Okay.
So this is a very fundamental, paradigmatic difference, because the presidential elections are theatrical selections. And what we're telling people is that being an active citizen involves you needing to understand that no one's coming to save you. That if anything, if you just participate in these presidential elections without the focus of building a movement, you're a fool. You're an utter fool, you say? And you're going to perpetuate this cycle that we have on the back of this card, you can see. If you see the back of that card, it says they're killing you. Since 1970, that's what this graph starts at, over here, till today, you can see that cost of living is going up and lifespan has been going down for 50 years, okay? And same true in England. Same true everywhere, okay? So if you look at this little graph, the people of the world have been losing, voting for these clowns. So we win by participating and mobilizing other people to incentivize them to save themselves. And my mission, my running for president, attracts those people who actually want to save themselves and enables them to viciously articulate against people like, Booby Kennedy, Donald Trump, or Bernie Sanders. You say, it's obvious to see Kamala Harris is a fucking idiot. Yep. It's obvious to see that Hillary Clinton and the Bushes, but the not so obvious establishment is what people do not want to see. And the reason people do not want to see the not so obvious establishment is one simple word: laziness. They think someone else is going to do their work of being a good citizen, being a good activist. They think someone else is going to come do the work. Oh my God, Trump said da 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 da. Well, he's not going to do shit. Look what he did do in 4 years. Look at it. Look at his entire life history. Go look at Booby fucking Kennedy's entire life history. A total scumbag. So it's very important for people to not focus on the obvious establishment. That's easy. But the not so obvious establishment is a dynamic that is created by the establishment to corral people back into the establishment, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. The bottom line is, Rich, that without having a knowledge of how systems work in the modern world, you're going to be a slave. And people are going to follow people in situations that are going to enslave them even more. And so there's a body of knowledge that is taught at the highest levels. It's the science of systems. Mm-hmm. I used to teach it. And without that body of knowledge, you have no chance of understanding how all this works. You have no chance because you don't have the framework. There's an engineering framework to create the world that we, meaning we, the working people, need. Mm-hmm. All right? And that framework is the knowledge of system science or systems thinking. And now the 0.0001% who understand this knowledge are able to manipulate the 8 billion people. And how do they manipulate people? Well, one of the things they manipulate people is they never want the clever monkey waking up and saying, hey, why don't I build a bottoms-up movement and actually mobilize my people to shatter the swarm, as I say, right? Mm-hmm. But as long as people don't think like that, they're absolutely in a wonderful position. But if people start saying, wait a minute, when I look back at human history, anytime any change has really come, it's been through when people mobilized independently and never capitulated to those coming from above. Our movement is going to the root cause and finding that root cause and rooting it out to solve the ultimate problem of humanity, which is a small set of people have created philosophies to think they're the chosen people. So if you can go to this core root cause understanding, here's like sort of the 11th commandment, okay? if there's a commandment. And the commandment is that thou shalt not build a bottoms-up movement. That's what the elites do not want. They do not want a bottoms-up movement. And they do not want leaders emerging from below, guys like me, who came absolutely from below. Lowest in the Indian caste system, who earned everything I fucking have. And the people I associate with and we are in our movement are people similar to that. They're working people. You see, they don't want that. They don't want us figuring stuff out on our own without their lawyers, without their people, and building a movement to shatter them, led by us, not them. So people have to really wake the fuck up and stop talking nonsense. You're fooling yourselves. You're fooling your fucking selves, and you're selling yourself out because look at this graph, right? Lifespan is going down and cost of living is going up. This has been going on for 50 years. So now you have to ask this fundamental question: how has the world changed? It has always changed since the time of slaves through bottoms-up movements. Even anything we got, the fact that you have electricity there, the fact that you have any healthcare, came from people who fought on the ground in ways, heroes that you'll never even know their names. They're not in any fucking history books. So we have to start honoring that. And we have to change the discourse in a very fundamental way. So some guy said MLK. Yeah, MLK. Yeah, let's look at this. MLK was a good guy. Yes, he was a good guy for the elites, idiot. Let's talk about MLK. Go look at his life history. Who is MLK? He was a Southern Baptist preacher. Now, at the time of Martin Luther King, who was Southern Baptist preachers? He went to BU, got a PhD. That's not just any person. That's a black bourgeois. In that period in U.S. history, if you were a preacher in the black community, exalted, you were that's like top. So there was a bottoms-up civil rights movement developing on its own, independent of Martin Luther King, on its own. And there were poor whites involved in that movement too, in places like Appalachia and other places in inner cities. They wanted infrastructure. And by the way, people, this is all out there. You just have to go study it and not be lazy. And these bottoms-up movements were demanding infrastructure in the inner cities. All right? So as these movements grew, the elites realized, wait a minute, if we don't get control of these movements, it's going to get out of hand. So the Southern National Christian Conference, SNCC, and the Kennedys, Booby fucking Kennedy's father, another exploiter, Robert Kennedy. You know, Robert Kennedy was bugging everyone. He was the Attorney General, if you remember. If you watch the movie Malcolm X, he's bugging Malcolm X, he's bugging Martin Luther King, and they found a lot of shit on Martin Luther King. He was raping women, big cokehead, would have orgies, right? A preacher. All right? Saying one thing, do as I say, not as I do. So they knew this guy was very compromised, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They anointed him, had a lot of shit on him. And the March on Washington, as Malcolm X said, was Peter Clayton's a source. Go do your own fucking research, Peter. I'm not going to do your work for you. I'm not your fucking house slave, okay? Go do your research. It's all out there. So, you see, source, this guy, Peter, MLK was a great guy. And when I share these facts, he wants me to do his research. No, you fucking go do the research. I'm not here to fucking do your work. But anyway, Martin Luther King was highly compromised. Malcolm X was not. Malcolm could not be manipulated. So imagine you presenting yourself to the community, Rich, as I'm a preacher. And over here you're doing drugs, you're banging women, you're doing orgies, right? You don't want that shit to come out, do you?
No, you get captured.
Exactly. So you're owned. So Martin Luther King was the March on Washington was created, a theater stage. And you look at that theater, you got all those people wearing the white hats behind them because they were all Gandhi followers, right? And Gandhi, I mean, you don't even get me started on Gandhi.
I haven't got time for that, right? Because what I want you to do is contrast that with Malcolm X, because it's interesting because I did study, read both of them many, many years ago.
Yeah, so Malcolm
a small-time criminal, went to prison.
Yeah, Malcolm came from nothing. Everyone should read the autobiography of Malcolm X. I read it when I was in ninth grade, when I was 12, 13.
Mhm.
So Malcolm came from below. He went through his own journey, a real journey. Martin Luther King didn't go through the journey of an average black person going to Boston University, getting a PhD in divinity. Are you fucking serious? Come on. It's not the black journey. Malcolm was the black journey. And Malcolm realized that black people needed to stand up on their own 2 feet. Now, he got involved in Elijah Muhammad's movement, which was about black nationalism, you see? But there's 2 kinds of nationalism, and it took Malcolm a while to figure this out. There's cultural nationalism, and then there's progressive nationalism. Progressive nationalism, hey, we're an oppressed people. We have a right to our own land. Cultural nationalism is a little bit different. It says, yeah, remember when black people in the old days, we were kings. Let's go back to that. You see? It's a decadent form of nationalism, okay?
Mhm.
So that's who Elijah Muhammad was. And again, he was saying for everyone to be pure, and meanwhile, he was banging all these women, right? Banging 6. So Malcolm had the fortitude and the integrity to break from that, right?
Yeah.
He broke from that. And then when he goes to Mecca and he realizes, yeah, this guy's saying, back it up. No, I don't have to back it up, fucking idiot. Go do your own research. Go do it. You see, this is what people, they don't, I'm not, I've done my PhD. I've written enough papers. I know how to do research. You go prove to yourself you can do research. So I'm not here to, I don't work for you. Okay. Go do the work. Okay. Or shut the fuck up. So this is the attitude we have among people, thinking someone's going to do their work for them. So anyway, Malcolm, in contrast, went through his actual journey.
Yeah.
He had to break from Elijah Muhammad. Then he had to go through the next journey. He realized, wait a minute, even the Islamic religion is not a religion of one race, right? And then he started coming across the writings of even Lenin, right? And other revolutionary thinkers, right? And so that resulted in, that resulted in the recognition for Malcolm that ultimately you have to build a movement. 2 weeks before he was executed, he said, I believe there will ultimately be a clash between the oppressed and those who do the oppressing, but it will not be based on the color of the skin.
Yeah.
So, and then 2 weeks after that, he was executed. Okay.
He became dangerous.
He became very dangerous because he was going to unite blacks and whites. And he was starting to understand the system's dynamics. If Malcolm X was alive today, he'd be a student of Truth, Freedom, Health. And it would have saved him 30, 40 years. Seriously.
Yeah.
So so what we are doing is saving people infinite amount of time so they don't have to bumble here, bumble there, bumble there. Oh, fuck, Kennedy, fuck me. Oh, Tulsi Gabbard, fuck me. Oh, Bernie Sanders, fuck me. Oh, Cornel West is a dope. Well, do you want to waste? So we're trying to accelerate someone's evolutionary growth so we can, because every year that goes by that you don't have enough people figuring this shit out and then they die when they're 80, oh, fuck, all that time is human suffering. So ultimately, we're trying to alleviate human suffering. That's what we're trying to do. Today, we've made it because we've created an actual program. We've created the model, like what you should do, right? If you want to be an electrician, you got to do this, then you got to do this, and you got to do this, and you got to do this. If you want to change the world and shatter, then this is what we all have to do. So, yeah, thank you for the opportunity to share with your audience, but get it out there that we're looking for people who want to change the world, and we've created a way for people to do that if they want to do it. If they want to do it.
All right. Thank you. I'll have all the links in the description below. Really, really appreciate you taking the time. And please do check out those links and spread the word. Save yourselves and shatter the storm.
Shatter the swarm. Yep. Thank you.